Yeah, hello guys. Welcome to Biggie Talks Football. I'll be doing an analysis of the match between England and Argentina. This match, there's a lot of controversy online about how Tuchel bottled it by being totally defensive after they went one goal up by Gordon. But I want to bring another view to this. Let's look at the match stats. The match stats clearly states that Argentina had the upper hand in the whole game. They had more possession. They had better XG. Even though people might say, okay, that was after the goal went in. But even before the goal went in, the momentum was swinging towards what's the name, Argentina. And I'll show you by a lot of things. I have a lot of data to show you this. But first things first, let's just look at the match stats, which is the XG between in the game was 1.84 and 0.53. The goal was the name England scored. Didn't have a whole high rate of XG. Even the total shots in the game, shots was the name Argentina had 15 shots and England had 5. While the shots on target was 5 and I think 1 or so. Um, I don't want to. I think so. I'm okay. 2, yeah, 2, 2. They are 2. So the game showed all this. Also, let's look at the what's the name? What do they call it? The momentum graph. The momentum graph showed that in the beginning because in the whole first half it was very cagey and a lot of fouls, a lot of this, a lot of that. The graph showed that England had a lot of momentum towards them in the beginning. It changed to Argentina. It went back to England. It changed to Argentina for a huge proportion of the half. And by the end of the half, it was just swinging between Argentina and England. But beginning of the second half, the momentum swung to the direction of England. That was when they got the first goal. Even though the first goal was not from the build up, but it was from it came from the defense. Rich James passed to Kane. Kane did a true ball to Rogers. Rogers put a very precise cross to Gordon. Gordon ran through the blind side of the defender to slot in the goal. But immediately after the goal, all the all the momentum swung in the direction of Argentina. All the momentum. And there's a reason for this. I'll be playing a video from Andrew Townsend. He really broke down this in very huge depth, in very huge phases of the game. Like he broke it down very well, very, very well. But before we do that, let's look at the attack, the in-depth attack match analysis. Like I mentioned before, 15 shots to 5 for Argentina, 5 to 2 on target for Argentina. Shots off target 7 to 1. Attempt outside of the box 8 to 3. It would work 2 to 0. Total offside. You can see all the stats is swinging towards Argentina. Expected goals or expected goals from open play and things like that. Expected goals was 1.84, 0.53. From open play was 1.64 and 0.48. So even what's the name? England didn't have that goal was not from open play. Although it was a little bit from open play, well, it was not. He had like half a chance of it being a goal at the end of the day. That's why he had an expected goal of 0.48. And if you look at XG from set plays, Argentina still had the upper hand, even though England has taller players and everything, they still had the upper hand. And expected assists still falls to Argentina. Now, the last thing I'll be looking at before we play the video is the defensive contribution, defense. So, in the defensive contribution, all this was towards majority of this was split. If you look at total tackles, because the game was initially in the first half, it was rough. It was 15-20. One tackles won was 60-45 in favor of England. Tackles fouls committed was 15-11. So England committed committed less fouls. Total yellow cards. Argentina had 3 yellow cards. They had 2 for their 2 centre backs, and they had 2 for their 2 centre backs. So it was very clear that England could have capitalized on that. But still, it's not just about England capitalizing on that. There's one more thing I would like to share. It's about passes. And this passes goes through in terms of control of the game. You know, the thing is, England had one issue. They couldn't control the game from the middle. And this was a result of Anderson and Declan Rice not being the players that control games. They are not controllers of the game. You see it from the passes. Total passes, 588 to 325. Total passes. Pass accuracy. Argentina had 91% pass accuracy. Backward passes, 82, quite all right. Forward passes, 154 to 92. Total long balls, 27 to 42. So a lot of what England was doing was they were playing a lot of long balls to the wingers, to Morgan and Gordon. They were playing a lot of long passes like that. Successful final third passes. That's the problem. They didn't have the players that could make a difference in the final third. England had 60 successful passes, whereas Argentina had 197. That was terrible. Total crosses they had, England had just 1 cross. That was what affected their XG from crosses, from set play. What's the name? Argentina had 20. So now we'll be looking at the video from Townsend. It is really enlightening. You guys should watch this video. And
decision Thomas Tuchel made last night and then determine whether or not the criticism of him is harsh. Now, England score on the 55th minute through Anthony Gordon. Directly from the kickoff, England immediately go and press Argentina, which says to me the message from the manager was, if we score one, we're going to keep pressing. We're not going to sit back. They press immediately. They don't win it back. They kick out for a throw-in. Next time they win it back, again, they go to attack with numbers. Harry Kane miscontrols it on the edge of the box. Argentina counter. England looking to press on the front foot. Jed Spence is caught on the front foot looking to press. It gets played in behind him. Simeone almost scores. If it wasn't for Jed Spence last-ditch tackle. 5 minutes later,
Jed Spence last-ditch tackle. The last-ditch tackle. That was when Jed Spence had this wonderful tackle after the goal. I think it was on the 57th minute or thereabouts. That was when the momentum was growing. In the graph, it even showed the momentum was growing. It was very tense. But, you know, England was still resolute in defense and everything. But you should notice this. They didn't have an outlet. Left to me, I would have felt if they brought in a second striker and they had an outlet like that, the second striker, Kane and someone else beside Kane, because Kane likes to drop deep too much. At the end of the day, if they had a second outlet, like let's say this other tall defender, if they had him beside Kane, it would have been perfect, I believe. That way, you could have dropped down ball, you could have hold up ball up there, like what Brobbey was doing for Netherlands, what Brobbey was doing for Brentford last season. So you could have done better like that. That's what I feel. But you know, let's continue watching the video.
60th minute, England get a goal kick. They try to play out. A pass to Jed Spence gets cut out. Argentina win it back high up the pitch. Messi tries to get a shot in the box, doesn't get it away. But that's warning number 2. You're in the semi-final of the World Cup. You're 1-0 up. It's instinct to then say, we're going to drop off. We're going to do everything from shape and look to contain. That's not a manager thing. The manager sent them to press after the first goal. That's a player's thing. If it hasn't worked, so we retreat. In the 64th minute, Argentina bring on Nico Gonzalez, a left winger, and they go more aggressive into a 3-1-6 formation. Thomas Tuchel doesn't react. He's still defending in a brave 4-4-2 formation. 1-0 up, 65 minutes gone against Argentina. But England is still camped in their own half without any real counter-attacking opportunities. Thomas Tuchel leaves it all the way until the hydration break. So the criticism is the change in itself. Ezri Konsa on for Anthony Gordon, who scored the goal. Now, can you, 20 minutes away from a World Cup final, can you go like for like and bring on a Rashford who, judging by the flow of the game, is going to have to do more work that way against a 3-1-6? Can you continue to be 4-4-2 out of possession? He goes with Ezri Konsa. He makes a big mistake now, though. He decides to go 5-3-2. Switzerland also made this mistake in the second half after they got a red card. They went 5-3-1. And the position Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez like to pick up throughout this whole tournament when they're facing a low block. They like to be in like a withdrawn inside right position for Messi, inside left position for Julian Alvarez. Messi changed the game against Egypt from that position. Julian Alvarez scored the all-important second goal against Switzerland from that position. Now, when you go over 3 in midfield, you don't really have the numbers in width to be able to get to Messi, who's here, and to be able to get to Julian Alvarez, was here. It was actually Rodrigo de Paul in the 75th minute who got the ball in that inside right position. He puts in 2 world-class crosses. One, Alexis McAllister hits the post. And the second one, the same man, Alexis McAllister, forces a good save from Jordan.
You notice that what he was saying here was Alvarez and Messi dropped into the pockets. At the end of the day, when any cross was coming from the pockets, was in the McAllister, and if it's coming from the right pocket, McAllister was ending up there, and there wasn't him, and Alvarez was ending up in the box. So majority of the crosses were coming from the right pockets, which was from Messi. You notice that Messi crossed in like 2 or 3 crosses like that. One McAllister, I think it was one that McAllister headed it and hit the bar, and the other one was the one De Paul crossed it. McAllister also reached it. At the end of the day, these were warning signs for England. But the thing is, you know, if you are not that team, there's nothing really you can do. If you're not that team, the best you can do is just to hold on and see if it's possible to hold on. But still, I don't still say this guy didn't make mistakes. He made some mistakes. I feel instead of that 5th defender, which was Dambon, you should have brought in a striker instead and push out. But the thing again is there was nothing holding in the middle. Everyone in the middle there was nobody holding play, dictating play in the middle. So at the end of the day, the ball was just coming out. The ball was going inside the box, in England's box, and they were just clearing it out. No outlet for England at all. Kane was not an outlet. Bellingham was not an outlet. I don't blame Bellingham. Bellingham is not an out-and-out 9. It's more of like an 8-10 hybrid player. You understand? So at the end of the day, can you really blame Tuchel? Or do we feel England is as good as what we think or what we thought? Let's continue.
Pickford. But then that was Thomas Tuchel's first mistake, and he rectifies it. In the 82nd minute, Argentina bring on Lautaro Martínez, and they almost go like a 2-8 formation. Thomas Tuchel changes it, go 5-4-1, brings on Big Dan Burn.
You see, they even from 3-1-6, they even pushed in more people forward. 2-8 formation. How you would consider at the end of the day, because the pressure was getting too much. They already had 2 balls hitting the crossbar. It was too much. Pressure upon pressure upon pressure. Most times when teams face pressure upon pressure upon pressure, they fold. You can't really. But still, Tuchel still has his own blame to be had there. But I just feel the better team won on the day. The better team won.
And brings on Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly, for me, is a very, very good sub. On the face of it, is negative. I haven't covered Argentina 2 games this World Cup. The game goes on and Argentina chasing. Messi doesn't go further forward. He drops deeper and deeper and deeper. Rather than having a Rashford defending Messi in a World Cup semi-final, 10 minutes to go, you're getting an accomplished left-back, Nico O'Reilly, to be able to cover Messi when he's dropping off in those positions. So for me, another good decision from...
So, Tuchel was like, okay, what should I do? Messi is getting a lot of joy on the right. Okay, let me bring on Nico O'Reilly to at least man-mark Messi. Because if majority of the game, until that point, they were on the back foot. And when you're on the back foot, bringing in a striker or bringing in a winger will not really do anything for you. That's why bringing in an attacker could have done something. You could have added outlets. You could have hold on to the ball, shielded the ball, be with the ball. You understand? Things like that. But there was no outlet for England. There was no outlet for England in the second half. The XG showed it that England didn't have enough chances to be able to even take that game to extra time. They didn't have enough attacking intent to take it to the second half and to the extra time. So at the end of the day, let's just be sincere. The best team won. The best team won. If you disagree or if you agree to this analysis, let me hear you. Drop a comment in the comment section. Like and follow for more. Peace out. This is Biggie.